everyone. Good to be back with you all a little bit quicker than the previous times. Thank you for all your emails, and I'm glad most of you could enjoy the last video, and I hope those who couldn't are able to soon enough. So I'm going to incorporate some standing poses in this one because I have been neglecting that, and I think it was Martha said she would like that. So we're going to do that. So we're going to do a quick warm up sitting down, not too quick though. And then we're going to do some standing postures followed by some deep stretches and meditation at the end. Let's get started. Find your comfortable seat. Place your feet flat on the floor, knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Place your hands either palms down or palms up. Just remember, this is completely up to you how you would like to place your hands. They could even be touching. It's whatever makes you feel the most open and comfortable in your space and in your body, and also the most connected with yourself, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, maybe taking your back away from the chair if that feels comfortable for you. Taking your navel in just ever so slightly to support your lower back as you sit up tall. We're going to take a deep breath in and let the chest open. And take a deep breath out and let the shoulder blades fall down your back. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, relax shoulders. Begin to drop your gaze or close your eyes. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Fully embody that breath. Inhaling, let the belly grow big. Exhaling, feeling the gentle pull and contraction through your core. A couple more breaths on your own. And with that control of your breath, feeling more empowered, more alive, and more connected to you. If it feels comfortable, place your hands over your heart. Continue to breathe deeply, acknowledging yourself, your body, your breath, your thoughts, and your feelings right now in this moment. Feeling your feet connected with the ground, your seat connected with the chair, feeling the support of the earth under you. And also feeling the support from your own body, from your own strength, keeping you upright and lifted, keeping your breath flowing in and out. As you're ready, begin to open your eyes or lift your gaze, bringing our hands to heart center to begin our practice. Our palms connected to one another as a symbol of connection to yourself, connection to your space, connection to the practice, connection to each other. We're going to take our hands and interlace the fingers. Notice which pinky lands on the outside. Notice which thumb lands on the outside of the crossed fingers. And then slowly start to roll your wrist around gently, taking the time to feel into this movement, noticing where you feel tension and where it feels more open. And then open your hands, reconnect the fingers and palms, and cross the fingers the opposite way. So the opposite thumb and the opposite pinky finger is on the outside. And then start to gently move your wrists again organically, opening up those joints, delicate joints. Keeping your fingers interlaced the way they are, we're going to gently press the palms out in front of us. We're going to take a few shoulder circles with the arms stretched out in front of us and those fingers hopefully feeling that stretch as well. And then reverse the shoulder direction. Keep breathing deeply to help guide your movements, allowing your body to feel into each movement, knowing when to go more and when to pull back. And slowly release your hands down, shake out your fingers, shake out your hands and your wrists. And then we're going to take the chin down to the chest and take a breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring your chin back to center, gaze forward. Exhale, look over towards the right shoulder. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Looking to the left, inhale. Exhale. In breath. Out breath. Inhale, come back to center, looking forward. We're going to inhale to look up. Exhale to look over to the right. Inhale to center, looking up. Exhale, look up and over to the left. So you're making an arch with your nose. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. And then just make this movement nice and gentle and smooth, like an arch, side to side. You can even imagine your ears dropping down towards the opposite shoulder. And you can pause when you want to pause, and you can keep moving as you want to move. Just make sure that the movement feels natural for you, for your neck here. And then come back to center, looking forward. We're going to take both arms out in front of us. We're going to press the palms together, and we're going to start to slide the hands along our arms, pulling one arm in, or one hand in towards the armpit and then the other. And then we're going to take it a little further. We're going to pull one arm back and reach that elbow all the way back to start to open up through the chest and get a twist in the upper body. We're going to bring the arms back together and take it to the other side, pulling back. Come back to center. You can imagine this movement like pulling the, I don't even know what that's called, the bow of the arch. Is that right? So you're not the arch, the arrow, right? The arrow. Oh man, I should even edit this part. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like you're pulling that arrow in your archery thing. Okay, so do that and twist your upper back and maybe even look back slightly. And then bring that arm forward again and then pull back. And then come forward. Okay, so hopefully you felt a little twist in the upper back as you did that. You can relax your shoulders again. We're going to do heel taps right out in front. We're going to do 4 on each side, straightening and bending the knee, keeping the belly engaged as you are on one, you're kind of balancing on one foot here as you reach out with the opposite. Nice job. Now we're going to switch it up. We're going to go heel tap, pull back, do a toe tap behind you, and step. If you need to skip this, that's fine. You can do the heel taps alone. That's totally fine. So it goes heel, toe, step, heel, toe, step. Oops, I forgot the toe. Step, heel, toe, step, heel, toe, step. And a couple more on each side. Keep moving those legs. So keep sitting up tall. Go at your own speed. And then gently tap out your feet on the ground. Shake up those legs a little bit. Even tap it out. Or rub your knees. Take the feet out nice and wide and make some windshield wipers with the hips. And then we're going to bring the feet back together. Bring the hands to the knees. Inhale, look up for cow pose. Exhale, round back for cat pose, looking down towards your navel. Inhale, you can slide the hands back this time. Elbows pull back, cow pose. Exhale, round your back, cat pose. Just notice what's happening in your spine as you make these movements, maybe gradually finding more space with each breath and with each shape you make. Maybe not. We do one more full round into cow, and then back into cat. In your cat pose, hold this shape here with your arched, rounded back, and just find some natural organic movement, maybe rocking a little side to side, see how that feels, maybe doing a little shift forward and back, maybe rocking your neck or your head side to side, maybe something else. And then slowly roll back up into your comfortable seat with your gaze forward, feet flat on the floor, and knees facing forward. Wonderful. All right, so we're going to get into some sun salutations, and then we're going to come up into some standing poses. Bring your hands down to your sides. These are our traditional sun salutations. Take them at your own speed. Break when you need to break. If your hands or your arms cannot come over your head for whatever reason, that's fine. You can bring your hands to shoulder distance, your arms to shoulder distance. Bring your hands together and then continue. Otherwise, you can bring your arms all the way up over your head and then bring yourself down to reach for this knee and lift it up, okay? So those are your two options for your arms, depending what's happening in your upper body. Inhale, we're going to lift the arms either halfway or all the way up. And then exhale, we fold forward and down over one leg. Inhale, draw that knee up into your chest, nice and tight squeeze. Exhale, nose towards knee. Make that rounded cat shape back that we just made a moment ago. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest, and look up towards our ceiling. Exhale, bring your foot down towards the ground. That was great. Inhale, lift your arms. Even look up to feel an extra lengthening through the spine, through the side body. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, lift your knee into your chest. We switch sides each time. Exhale, round your back, nose towards knee. Inhale, lift your heart and chest. Look up. There is no rush here. Exhale, slowly step that foot down. And keep moving. Inhaling, lifts. Exhaling, folds. Inhales, knees to chest. Exhales, nose to knee. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, foot to the earth. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Switching sides. Inhale, belly in tight, lift that leg. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, heart and chest high towards the sky. Exhale, foot to the ground. We're going to do one more on each side. Keep moving, keep breathing. Nice work. Inhale, arms either halfway or all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Take a moment to find your breath. Find your intentions and reconnect. All right, slowly beginning to open your eyes again and just feeling in your body. If that was enough for you to get warmed up, then we'll go to the next set of movements. If not, I encourage you just to rewind and do, or pause if you remember the sequence, and go through the sun salutations 2 to 10 more times. Whatever you need to do the sequence a couple more times. Before we get started with standing, if that's what you're choosing to do next, we're going to lift this knee up and we're going to take some circles with the ankle. So we really want to get that ankle moving before we start our standing poses. Move the ankle in both directions, please. And then set that foot down, lift the other leg and move the ankle in one direction, circling the toes around. If this is too challenging to keep the leg lifted, you can always extend the leg out in front of you, heel on the ground, and make the circles. Reverse the direction of your circle and set that foot down. Now, I want you to bring both legs out in front of you. I want you to open your fingers and your toes, so spread them wide apart. And then release. Okay, so we're going to inhale. We're going to scrunch our fingers and toes into fists, both the fingers and the toes. And then so this is going to be the inhale. And then exhale, we're going to spread it all out again. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Make sure fingers and toes are really stretching out. Inhale, exhale. Good. Rebend the knees, shake out the toes and the fingers, wiggle them out a little bit. And then one more time, lift one leg up, or you can extend the leg out in front of you, and we're going to do those circles with the ankle one more time on both sides. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then go the other direction. Really opening those ankles. Don't neglect your ankles. Do this several times a day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the foot down and then lift the other leg up and start to roll that ankle out again. Our ankles are so important. So our body is fully connected like a chain. If one thing gets messed up, the whole thing can start to kind of get off balance. Okay, reverse the direction of that ankle circle. So our ankles are kind of at one end of that chain, right, towards the bottom. And so if something happens to your foot and your ankle, it can affect your hips, it can affect your knees, it can even affect your shoulders. So really want to try to keep our ankles nice and healthy, and that it really involves keeping them loose and agile. Okay, as you're ready, we're going to stand up. We're going to take our chair. If you are using a mat, maybe bring it more forward so your feet can stay on the mat and not slip. This chair is a little short. So bring your fingertips to the back of the chair and then bring your feet hips distance apart, okay? So that's about 1 foot apart, more or less. And then we're going to start to sit the hips down and pull the belly button in and press the bottom back, okay? So I'll show you that from the side. So you have your feet hips distance apart, and then you're going to slowly start to squat down. Most of the weight is in your heels, in the heels of your foot, and your toes are kind of light. So inhale, press to the heels and stand up tall. Exhale, push the bottom back. It doesn't matter how far down you go. Inhale, press up through the heels. Exhale, press down. Inhale, press up. And we're going to do one more of those. Exhale, press down. Inhale, stand up tall. And then the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to bring the feet slightly closer together. You're going to step out to the side and then step back in. Step out to the side, step back in, okay? I'll show you from this direction. You're going to step together, step together. And if you do have a mat and you're afraid of slipping or falling, you might want to go to the long edge of your mat, so you're stepping on the mat and then back together, or stepping on the mat, back together, okay? Either way works for me, whatever you feel safe doing. So stepping out, stepping in, stepping out, stepping in. As far as you feel comfortable going, you're only moving 1 foot at a time. So the foot goes out and it comes back in. This other foot stays stable. Okay? And then those toes are pointing directly forward or possibly slightly outward if you have some hip things, but try not to let the toes point in. Okay, as much as we can, toes are facing directly forward. So just really pay attention to the way you step and notice what happens when you step out, just naturally step, what your body does, and then start to maybe think about, we don't really want to say correcting, but changing something about the way you step out naturally. And so that there's more alignment in your body. Okay, so that's one thing, the way the toes point. And then another thing I just thought of that you could notice, maybe you notice something else, is that when you step out, your foot might go forward, right? Because we have this tendency to always want to go forward as we walk forward. And we don't walk to the side like crabs. But so as you step out to the side, are your feet on one line? So we don't want this foot that we're stepping out with to go forward. And we also don't want this foot we're stepping out to go back, because that does some wonky things in the hip. So just step out directly out to the side, one line, like a crab. I don't really know how crabs walk, but we're going to imagine they walk in straight lines, side to side, okay? All right, that was a lot of that movement. We're going to step back with one foot and then forward, back, and forward. You see the pattern that we're going with? So we're going to step back, forward, back, forward. Kind of small steps here. And keep your feet pretty close together, as close as you can. If you really want to challenge yourself, the toes could even be touching. And that's going to create more challenge because it's more balancing. But if you need a little bit more stance, then bring the feet wider apart, and that will not be as challenging. So you're just stepping back. Okay, now as we step back, we're going to kind of come into this lunge shape and then step forward. So you might start to step back a little bit wider, and your knee starts to bend a little bit. And you just hold it for a second, and then you step back up. And you really try to step back up using the strength of your core. Your leg is heavy, and so when you're doing this movement of stepping forward, you're on one foot when you do that. You're balancing on one foot to step forward. So I encourage you to maybe even take that movement a little bit slower. Really feel that weight on that one leg as the foot steps forward. Okay, so we did a lot of that. We're going to come back to what we just did from the beginning, and we're going to do all of that one more time, and we'll probably add on a little bit to each one as well. So the squats, so the feet are facing forward, this time hips distance apart, pretty wide. You could even do a little bit wider, as wide as your chair legs. And then you're going to kind of pretty much like imagine someone's punching you in the stomach, and your booty, your bottom, is going back and down, and your knees are bending a little bit. It's okay if your chest comes forward, that's fine. And you're pushing up through your heels to stand up tall. So I want you to stand all the way up and then exhale to sit back down. It's also, you can imagine you're sitting in an imaginary chair. So inhale to stand up, hips come forward just a little bit. And then exhale, you sit back down into that imaginary chair. It can be a tall chair, that's fine. Inhale, standing up. Exhale, sitting down. And then inhale, standing up. Okay, we're going to do that 2 more times, and I want you to pay attention to something new this time. I want you to pay attention to the insides of your thighs, okay? So when you stand up, I want you to press up through your heels. It's actually not, we're not going to pay so much attention as the sitting down part, but it's how you come back up. So you're going to pay attention to pressing down through your heels and try to lift up through the inner thighs. You feel the muscles kind of squeezing in your inner thighs to stand back up, okay? If it doesn't happen, don't worry about it. Just imagine it's happening. It's fun to try to think about something else while we're moving. So you're going to sit back down into that imaginary chair. And then on the inhale, you're going to squeeze through the inner thighs and lift your hips back up to standing. Exhale, sitting down and back. Inhale, pressing through the heels, lifting through the inner thighs. Okay. Shake out your legs a little bit if that feels comfortable to you, just to let some of that go. And then we're going to step out to the side and back in. out to the side and back in. Okay, make sure you're looking at what you're doing. Notice the direction your toes are stepping naturally, and just notice how that feels in your body. You could try to, like, if you might notice your toes really point out or something like that, and you try to correct it, let's say, and bring the toes facing forward, but it feels horrible. Well, then don't do that, right? Do what's going to feel good for you, but just notice what your body does so that over time, maybe you start to adjust it. Okay, so we're going to take those same outside steps, stepping out to the side. We're going to try to add a little bit of a squat into it. It's going to be challenging. Do your best. So you're going to step out, hold on to the chair, and then you're going to do a little sit down, and then you're going to squeeze through those inner thighs, lift up, and step back in. So you step out, hold to the chair, sit down. It can be just a little bend. It doesn't have to be a big one. Stand back up and feet together. Okay, let's do it 2 more times on each side. If it's too much to do that squat, no worries. Keep doing the step outs without the sitting down. Okay, so step out, sit down, lift up, back together. Step out, sit down, lift up, and together. 1 more on each side. Out, sit, up, together. Out, sit, up, together. Shake it out if you need to. Nice work. And then we're going to do our lunges again. So start with just a couple of taps. So you're tapping your toes back behind you. Your feet are a little bit closer together than they were for the last 2 rounds. And then we're going to stop and pause. We're going to take 1 foot behind us and maybe come into a little bit of a bend in this front leg. So this is called a lunge. We're going to try this lunge. And as you lift that back heel up, you may feel a nice stretch through this part of your body, the front of your thigh. And then you're going to bring that foot back together, being mindful of stepping forward and supporting your weight on one leg, okay? So step the other foot back, toes down, heels up. Feel that nice deep stretch through the front of your leg. Make sure your heart and chest is lifted, with a slight bend in the front knee. And then transition to both feet forward, being mindful of stepping forward and shifting the weight. The weight is shifting as you step back, the weight is shifting. Find your lunge. As you step forward, the weight shifts. And so now we shift onto the standing leg and we step back. We bend the knee gently to support that weight. We find a deep stretch, inhaling, exhaling, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, we start to come forward. Our weight shifts forward. More weight comes into that front standing leg, and we step it together. All right, doing things slow like that makes it even more challenging than normal, so we can call that a done deal for now. Let's stretch some of that out. So we're going to, I'm going to move my chair forward a little bit more. So we're going to take 1 foot forward and then gently step 1 foot back. We're coming into our pyramid pose. It's also kind of like a runner's stretch. So you want both toes pretty much facing, both sets of toes facing forward. You're going to have your hips facing forward, like headlights, okay? So notice if your hips are a little wonky, if they're a little turned, try to straighten them out. And then your feet are on a train track rather than a tightrope. So you want your feet on 2 tracks, right foot, left foot, or I guess we're reversed. So left foot, right foot. We don't want our feet in one line like this, okay? Because that's going to be super challenging to balance. And then we want to inhale and lift the heart and chest up. Make sure those hips are still pointing forward. And then slowly start to take our hips back. We're not bending the knees as much on this one. If you need to bend the knees a little bit because of tighter hamstrings, please go for it. And you're slowly, with every breath, you're slowly starting to bring your heart forward and down, okay? And your hands may want to come a little bit lower than the top of your chair, and that's fine. They can go to the seat of the chair. Some of you may even like to bring them to the floor or to a different prop that's handy. And I invite you to really relax your neck. You don't need to look forward. And right now we're trying to get those hips squared, pulling the inner thighs a little bit together, the navel's in, and the back of the leg hopefully is feeling a nice deep stretch in the hamstring. Take a breath in, take a breath out, take a breath in, and out. Okay. And then we're going to bring the hands to the back of the chair. Inhale, start to lift the heart and the chest up. Start to stand all the way up nice and tall. Take your time to get there. It's kind of like scuba diving. I don't know if I've never done that myself, but you have to come up very slowly, right? So take your time to come up slowly. And then remember, this is a transition. We transition the weight into the front foot, maybe even gradually, right? We come off the back foot slowly and then we step forward. All right, same thing. Shift the weight into the other side and then take a step back. We've got to keep our feet wide apart. Chest lifted and open, belly, navel in, hips are forward like headlights, and then exhale to slowly start to hinge at the hips. Legs are as straight as they can be, although the front leg might want and need to bend a little bit if we have a tight back of the leg. That's the part of the body we're really trying to focus on here to stretch. You may stop here, elbows or forearms down on the chair. This gives me plenty of a stretch here. I don't even need to go down further. I certainly could, but you know, it's really not about how far down you go. It's about feeling what you need to feel and it being enough for you in this moment. Take a breath in and out. Relax your head, your neck, your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in and out. We'll slowly begin to rise back up, taking it one movement, one breath at a time. And then we'll come forward, transitioning, shifting the weight, and stepping both feet together. Shake it out a little bit as you need. We're going to keep both feet on the ground for this next part. One hand on the chair. We're going to inhale and lift one arm up. If the arm isn't comfortable coming over the head, maybe a cactus arm would be good here. So either straight arm or bent elbow. And then we're going to take either that straight arm or the bent elbow. I'm going to show you both ways. Take a straight arm and you're going to start to bend the knees gently and turn your chest open to the side. Be really careful here. We're really only trying to open up the upper body, not the lower. So we want to try to keep the hips forward. It's pretty tricky. Knees forward, toes forward. So this is what it will look like with a straight arm. You just kind of take the arm up and over. It's a pretty big range of movement. You can keep the elbow bent and just kind of move the elbow back. Okay, and come forward and move it back. So do a few dynamic twists first. Make sure you don't go too far. And then come back to center and hand down. And then we'll do the other side, arm either straight and reach back. I mean, that's challenging, so take your pick. Probably a bent elbow is going to be sufficient. Okay, and then dynamic movement, so we're going forward and back a couple of times, but not too far back, okay? Not too far back. Do about 70% of what you could do. That might be really little. That might be just kind of going like this. That's fine, especially if we have some injuries, tightness in the shoulders. And then bring that hand down. And then we'll do the other side. Let's just do with a bent elbow unless you're really feeling that straight arm. And then start to slowly turn back and then come forward. So take a deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly begin to turn back, even looking back. Breathe in. Keeping your chest open, your shoulders down your back, breathe out. Open chest, inhale. Relax shoulders, exhale. Inhale, slowly bring your arm forward again, and exhale, bring your hand down. We're going to do that other side, bent elbow, inhale. And then I invite you to even possibly, if it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, to bring the thumb and the pointer finger together, okay? And then exhale, start to open the chest, the elbow back. Try to find some calming, relaxing breaths in your body. Maybe even lower your gaze or close your eyes for a moment. Make sure your knees are not locked. Inhale, slowly starting to come back to center and release your hands down. We're going to end our standing with a downward facing dog. We have two options for this. The first one is what we did mostly when we met together in person, and then I'll show you the second option. Hands on the top of the chair. You're going to start to walk back as far as you can. Your heels can be up or they can be down. And the most important thing here is that we're stretching through our shoulders and our spine and the back of our legs. So we're feeling a little bit of everything here, and we're really targeting the back of our body. So our hands are pushing down into the chair. The shoulder blades are nice and broad. Your knees can be bent if you feel the hamstrings pulling too much. And we breathe. Okay, stay here if if you're challenged enough there, or if you're super comfortable. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, we would flip the chair around, place the hands on the seat of the chair, and then come into the same shape. The only difference here is you're down just a little bit lower, so your heart is is starting to go lower than your hips, so it's a little bit just more of an inversion, of a flip of perspective. Your blood is starting to flow kind of in opposite direction. Um, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. You can nod your head yes in this shape, in either shape, and you can shake your head side to side. Relaxing the neck, relaxing your jaw and your forehead. And then slowly begin to look up wherever you are and bend your knees. And then remember, you're shifting as you walk forward. One foot has weight, one side has weight, and then the other. Okay. Inhale, lift halfway up. Take your time. And exhale, stand all the way up. Okay. I'm going to flip this chair around. I actually need to check the time very quickly because I have another class to teach. Oh, good. We have plenty of time. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sit down, and we're going to just do a few shoulder stretches and leg stretches before we come into our final meditation. We're going to inhale and take one arm out in front of us. Exhale, cross that arm in front of your body and hold the elbow with the opposite hand. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed and there's lots of space between the ears and the neck. If you'd like, you can always close your eyes, take a breath, and release the breath. Keep breathing with the shape, a couple more breaths. Open the eyes, release your arms, and we'll take it to the other side. Arm out in front of you, cross the body, hold the elbow, inhale, exhale. Breathing, feeling your breath rise, open, and feeling your breath fall, contract. Release your arms, shake it out a little bit. We're going to do our triceps here. So we're going to take one arm, lift it up next to your ear, and then reach your hand back to the back of your neck as far as you can. It might just touch your head. That's fine too. You can take your other hand and hold the back of the arm up like this, or if you can easily reach the elbow and over the head, that's fine as well. So either way works. Try to keep the chest open, the upper body nice and tall. You even lift your chin a little bit, which helps just remind you that you're lifting and you're not crunching over just so you can reach this elbow, right? You're not leaning forward so you can reach higher. It doesn't matter how high you can reach. What really matters is that you're sitting up tall and the front of your chest is opening, and then that opening reaches all the way to the back of your arm, okay? So take a breath in and out. Inhale, exhale. Let go of any tension in the neck. Breath in, breath out. Slowly begin to release those arms down very carefully and mindfully. And then we'll go to the other side. Opposite arm lifts up. Exhale, bend the elbow, reach the hand to the back of your neck. Take your hand to your elbow or to your arm. Just make sure you're not crunching forward to reach for something. And this just supports that elbow lifting up a little bit. Find comfort, find length in the front of your body, and then find your breath. Slowly begin to release your arms down. Take your feet wide apart, please, toes facing out to the side, forearms down to your thighs, and gently push the knees back until you feel a stretch in the inner thighs. Lengthen your chest forward. Try not to round your spine. Take several deep breaths here, relaxing the head and neck, looking straight down. If it feels comfortable to you or something that is inviting you to, to explore today in your body, you may have done this before, but it might not be the right thing to do today. Or maybe you've never done it before, but it's the right thing to do today. So really ask yourself for permission before you make this decision, and make sure that your sit bones feel very rooted into the chair, that you will not fall. You can stay here as long as you need, as long as it feels comfortable, or you can take it down, bringing your fingertips to the floor, or maybe a block or a Tupperware container, a book if you need to lift the floor up, and come into a slightly deeper fold. This is pretty intense on the inner thighs, so do as you need, including not doing it at all. Try to relax your lower back in whichever shape you're in. Head, neck, also dangling down. On an inhale, if you're all the way down, I invite you to come up a little bit with your chest. And then exhale, bring a forearm and then the other one to your thighs. Pause here. Inhale, lift the chest up a little higher. Exhale, maybe bring your arms to your hands to your legs. And then inhale as you're ready. Start to sit all the way up. Okay, nice work. Bring your feet closer together and we're going to finish off with a final meditation. I'll get a little closer to you all so that we can be together. Okay, sitting up tall, feet flat on the floor, knees are bent, palms as you wish, just as we started. Letting yourself become heavy in your seat. Your eyes start to relax and maybe even close. Your forehead smooth. Back of the neck long and lifted. Chin gently pointing down. Feeling the lift of the energy you created and the grounding from the breath. Focus on your inhales and exhales as you slowly bring yourself back into your body, as you slowly begin to focus inward. Allow yourself to drop in. Begin to feel your breath once more, opening and closing in your body like a fan, pumping life and energy back into you. Find some gentle movement in your toes and then your fingers. Move your head a little side to side in a natural, non-harming way. Begin to open and blink your eyes, letting that light energy into your surroundings and into your body. We're going to take a full body stretch, inhaling, lifting the arms and toes through opposite directions like you're in bed in the morning, waking up with a big stretch. And then exhale, bring your feet back down to the ground, bring your hands to your heart center once again, ending with that connection to yourself, to your full self, everything that makes you who you are, the physical, the mental, and also reminding yourself here of simplicity, of how simple it is to be, to take a moment to breathe deeply, to look for new perspective, to start over. Right. Thank you all so much. The light in me sees and honors, respects the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Thank you for allowing me to continue to bring these classes to you and for you to keep watching them. It brings me so much joy to hear from you and know that they're being watched and used. Keep practicing, keep moving, go back to the old videos, find some new videos online with some different people. That's never a bad thing either. Just keep moving, keep breathing deeply, and keep loving yourselves. Bye, everyone.